My guest this morning is a wonderful man by the name of Marty Seibel. And Marty is an interesting character because, well, he runs the Staunton Ghost Tours. How did you get into becoming a ghost guy? Are you a paranormalist?
Well, first, I want to thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. I have been a paranormal investigator for about 13 years now, and I basically got started. I've always had an interest in ghosts and hauntings, but all these television shows you would see, like things on the Travel Channel, the History Channel, Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures. I would see all these locations, these haunted locations, and I would be sitting there watching these shows with my girlfriend, and I'd tell her, I'd say, you know what, we're going to go there, we're going to do that. And so we've made a journey, 13 years of hitting just about every haunted tavern, bed and breakfast, inn that you can name up and down the East Coast. And eventually what happened with that was it formulated over into forming my own paranormal group, which I have now called Black Raven Paranormal. We've been together for about 8 years.
Now, what is the scariest moment that you have had as a paranormalist? Because, you know, having watched Paranormal Activity or seen the Amityville Horror, what would you say is your scariest moment as a paranormalist?
Well, I haven't had too many over the years. I really have not had too many personal experiences altogether. But the few I have had involve when I have been alone. I asked a question while doing audio work, EVP work, and got a response back that I've heard in real time, which we call a disembodied voice. For me personally, there was a situation last year out in Valeska, Iowa, investigating the Valeska Axe murder house where a whole family was murdered in 1912, 6 of them being children. Just so happened to be alone and asked a question down in the parlor, "Children, are you here with us?" And I got a little girl's voice that responded saying yes. It caught me completely off guard. I was not expecting that. And I tell you, as I sit here and I tell you this, the hair is actually standing up on my arm right now. Pretty cool. And it did scare me a little bit, yeah.
The hair on the back of my neck is standing up right now because just to hear that little high-pitched whisper of a voice, of whether it's a child or a little girl, or you know that sound. I would be packing up my stuff and saying, maybe I need to head back to Virginia because I'm a little nervous.
It was a very interesting experience. And the thing about it, I find a lot of times over the years from doing this, things seem to happen when you least expect it. And in this situation, actually, I was changing the batteries in my audio recorder, getting ready to do some audio work when this come across. And I made that remark, and then I got the response. And the first thing I'm thinking is, oh, my God, I don't have my recorder running. But I was lucky enough because we had another member in the group who'd sent their recorder down on a coffee table, which was recording, and it did capture it. So, that's really cool. You have a personal experience, and then you're able to record it and validate it.
So what are some of the great sites and maybe scary haunts that we could come across taking part in the Staunton Ghost Tours?
Well, I have a few that I really love. One being the Clock Tower Bar and Restaurant right off of Beverly Street. As a matter of fact, we just investigated this past Sunday evening. A lot of activity in the basement, anything from the waitresses being tugged and pulled on as they go down to get a bottle of wine, bring up beer, anything like that. Supposedly there was a little girl about 9 years old that fell down a coal chute in the basement there back in the 1920s, 30s. And incredibly, our investigation there Sunday night didn't have a whole lot come out till about the last 15 minutes of the investigation, and we did capture a child's voice on the recorder, which we're going through right now. Hope to have it up on the website here in about another week or so.
Now, video-wise, have you seen the orbs or ghosts or whatnot happening in between your travels of being a paranormalist?
Yes, I have. A few times we've been lucky enough to capture some really cool stuff on video. It's always a great experience. We have a lot of activity, too, as well. You asked me earlier about locations in Staunton, and I would have to say probably the most active location is the Staunton Depot Station. We've had things come across video down there. We've had people with a lot of personal experiences. I get just a ton of email of people having experiences down there, anything from seeing shadow figures to seeing people, in real time, is just like you or I, just completely disappear. Particularly a Confederate soldier down there along the tracks that was killed in 1861. We've had people, particularly recently, women with longer blonde hair have it pulled. One situation just 2 weeks ago. So it's very active.
Wow. Now, see, that's the stuff I'm talking about. I like stuff like that. Now, if I was going to come out and take one of your tours, where would we be going on that tour?
Well, we offer actually 5 different tours for this season. 2 that are downtown. We have one that's called our Original Walk-In Ghost Tour. It's a 90-minute walk-in tour that meets at Coffee on the Corner, 140 East Beverly Street, just across from the old Dixie Cinema. It takes you through town. It's based on history, all the history of Staunton and the history of the 5 stops that you stop by. And those include the SunTrust Bank, Emilio's Restaurant, the Clock Tower, which I just talked about, Mary Baldwin College, which is quite active, and then there's a private residence over on Coulter Street that you stop by. A lot of fun. If you're really into the history part of it, it's really a good tour. And then we have another tour at 9 o'clock on the same evenings, and that's called our Spirit Box Depot Tour. And this is a little bit more geared for if you're into the paranormal side of it. And what we do is we do take you down to the depot station. We tell you a little bit of the history down there and some of the events that have occurred there. But the big thing about this tour is we actually share evidence and data with you that we've collected over the years as a paranormal group in the form of audio clips, EVPs. We share those things with you that we've captured on investigations as well as down at the depot station. And then we do what we call as a live spirit box session. And for those that are not familiar with the spirit box, or as some people call it, the ghost box, it's basically a portable radio that's been hacked. And what it does is continuously scan the AM or FM band. The thought process behind it is that spirits they can manipulate the static and any radio blurbs that come across and form words and sentences. Now, when we initially started doing this about 4 years ago, I was a huge skeptic. I basically thought it was a load of crap. Reason being is, number one, it's radio, and number two, I think a lot of times you can hear what you want to hear. But through the course of doing this for 4 years, we've had some stuff come across. It's just been too good to be true. It really gets your attention. And so we do a live session down there at the depot station. We actually kicked it off 3 years ago on the anniversary on one of our greatest events. We particularly pay a lot of attention to anniversaries. And we had some significant results, and we've been doing it ever since. People come down there, are able to participate and ask questions, and we record the whole session. Sometimes you hear things come through very clearly, sometimes not so much, but regardless, after the tour, we review everything with the headphones. We go over it 2-3 times. If there's anything significant, we place it up on the website. Usually takes me about 2 weeks to get it up on the website. But people get real excited about it. I'll tell you, and I tell everybody when we do this, it's a hit or miss type thing. Things like that do not happen on cue. But we are on a roll right now. The last 3 weeks, we've had some good stuff come across, some really good stuff, particularly involving some of the stories, direct questions, direct answers, and then, of course, personal experiences like I just mentioned with the lady in the blonde hair.
So now what is your website? If somebody who's interested in the paranormal or wants to find out more about the Staunton Ghost Tours and get directions to come and visit you, where do we go on the web to find you?
Okay, well, we have 2 websites. The one for the ghost tours is ghostofstaunton.com. That's ghost, plural, GHOSTS. OF Staunton, STAUNTON.com. And then our paranormal website is blackravenparanormal.com. And that has everything on there from all the things we do locally here in the city of Staunton and in the valley, as well as traveling. And we do travel extensively. All the big name locations you see on television, we hit.
Are you guys also on Facebook?
We are on Facebook, and that's under Black Raven Paranormal, as well as the Ghost of Staunton.
My last question for you is, if somebody wanted to become a paranormalist, how would we go about doing that?
Well, really for me, and how I started is doing a lot of research, spending a lot of time researching history of the paranormal itself, the tools, the equipment you need, reaching out and contacting other groups, respected groups that have a reputation, have been around a little while, that are eager to help. I know I get contacted by a lot of people. And I always tell people I'm no expert, and I truly believe that I'm not an expert in this field. I do it because I have a strong passion. I love it. I love talking with people and sharing experiences and hearing their stories. But anything I can share that helps somebody, as far as on a piece of equipment or location or anything, I love to do.
Well, the website is ghostofstaunton.com, blackravenparanormal.com. Find them on Facebook. You can find Black Raven Paranormal on Facebook. Check them out. They've got all kinds of updates. And for all your information about tours, weekend tours, and personal tours, visit ghostofstaunton.com. Marty Seibel, thank you for being a guest on Mornings with Mickey the Kid.
Thank you, Mickey. I appreciate it.